Hello everybody, my name is Luis Fernandez Luque. I'm a health researcher at Qatar Computing Research Institute. Today in this lecture we are going to study how social computing, Internet of the Things and new technologies in general are being used for helping to achieve healthy aging. First of all, as you can see in this second slide, we need to take into account that Internet is becoming mobile because the use of Internet is growing rapidly, but mainly through the use of mobile technology. And this is something especially happening in the developing countries. Another area of growth in the internet is actually the demographics. More and more people in the elder age, they are starting to use mobile technology, especially WhatsApp and instant messaging. And this is something not only happening in North America or Europe, it's also happening in countries like India. Now we are going to speak a little bit about the Internet of the Things for healthy aging. As you can see in the fifth slide, technology for smart homes are not anymore some prototypes and research. You can go to the shops and you can buy wireless speaker system, smart thermostats, smart lighting, smoke sensors, etc. And this is something growing every year, and the big players like Google, Apple, they're also getting into this business. As you can see in the sixth slide, here you have a diagram of how different technologies in the houses they can help to make the home a more safe environment for the elderly. For example, there have been putting sensors in the tiles to detect whether somebody has fell down and then call the emergency system. There are also smoke detectors and CO2 detector. This is very important for patients with Alzheimer's, that they may forget that they are cooking something and to prevent fires. And also smart lighting has been tested so that when the elderly wake up with the sensor in the bed, automatically will turn on the lights so that the elderly user can find their way to the bathroom without falling down, etc. There are millions of technologies that have been used for creating a smart home for ambient assisted living, and in that paper that you can see in the slide, you have a very nice overview about it. Then in the seventh slide, I would like to emphasize one type of technology that is growing in importance. That's actually robotics in ambient assisted living. There are many robots that are being tested to either help in the daily tasks of the house, like cleaning, moving heavy objects, etc. And also you have robots for telepresence, like Giraffe, which will allow the caregiver to connect to the elderly and have interaction regarding medication or more mental issues, etc. Let's speak now about wearables and quantified self. As you can see in the slide 9, wearables sometimes are not really well designed for the daily users. An example are those devices like Fitbit, etc., that we tried in Seville during a European project, and what we found is because the way the elderly walk, especially those with disabilities, many of the steps they were not even counted. So somehow we can say that the elderly were flying, not walking. This is a very important thing to take into consideration if you are aiming to use wearables to promote physical activity among people with disabilities. Many of those devices are not designed for people with disability, and therefore they are not very reliable to monitor the physical activity. That's why I'm using the flying grandpa picture. Somehow, the way we walk when we are getting old, when we have hip replacement, is different, and those devices are not always very well designed for it. However, as you can see in the slide 10, you can really design something very useful for the elderly, taking into consideration the characteristics of the user. This is an example of a smart spoon, which actually has a sensor to recognize the tremble from somebody with Parkinson, for example, and then it will correct it. So it helps you to eat by sensing how your tremor in the hand. This is something that is already a commercial product, and I invite you to visit the web page to know how they have designed it.